Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Convention with the Weekly Comic Roundup. We've already managed to make it through some of this week's books, make a bit of a dent. So let's keep on trucking. Kicking things off, we've got Black Panther, #1. So, where John Ridley's Black Panther run ended, T'Challa had been exiled from Wakanda. This was due to the discovery of his, some of his more devious plans, I guess. A sleeper agent program, well, not sleeper agent, but a program where he secretly had operatives in place throughout the world in case another country became a threat to Wakanda. However, one of those operatives went rogue and this opted to use T'Challa's plans against the world to put the world under T'Challa's rule. And for that, T'Challa was exiled from Wakanda, he was already a figurehead king due to democracy having been introduced to Wakanda during while T'Challa was in space dealing with Wakanda's intergalactic interests. So the issue is largely set in the city of T'Chaka, which is in the far northwest corner of Wakanda, and T'Challa's watching. Occasionally, he acts, to right or wrong he sees. He kind of goes over how he got to this point, and we get a little bit of what was going on with him, between the end of John Ridley's run and the beginning of this run, including also his membership in the current Avengers lineup. That said, he has been keeping an eye on. He's been trying to get to know Baron T'Chaka. There's a lawyer that he's been keeping an eye on, by the name of Niobe Amaru. But Niobe is good. He's very much the Matt Murdock type of lawyer. The kind that will take on a case for a client that can't pay because it's the right thing to do. Turns out that some of the former members of the Hetep Zerazi are now seemingly criminal enforcers. T'Challa has a brief run with some of them. Eventually, T'Challa basically arranges things in such a manner so that him and Niobe meet, revealing that in fact they'd met before, but they were very young. But as T'Challa leaves, a woman shows up at Niobe's office, steals some files, and basically tells him not to say anything about who she is. Later, it turns out that criminal underworld in T'Chaka has gotten hold of a Deathlock unit. I'm guessing it's Michael Collins, Deathlock from the 90s, but we shall see. And that is where the issue ends. Strong first issue. Eval Ewing is quite the writer, so I'm already just knowing that she was on it was enough to say, okay, yeah, sold. So, but I do look forward to seeing how this run pans out. Moving on to our next book, we've got Captain America Cold War Omega, wrapping up the crossover between the Captain America books. Where we left off, the White Wolf had taken a much more bestial appearance. And well, the two Caps, as well as Sharon Carter and Misty Knight, were trying to figure out their next move. Turns out that the White Wolf's forces have been loosed upon the world. We see shots from Tokyo, Dakar, London, and Seattle. But there's disagreement between Bucky and the White Wolf. And the decision is, our heroes make the decision that when it comes to dealing with Bucky and White Wolf, rather than having Steve and Sharon go after Bucky and Sam and Misty go after White Wolf, instead, Steve and Misty will go after White Wolf, while Sam and Sharon go after Bucky. But turns out that Misty Knight's a Friday Night Lights fan, and says that once this is all over, her and Sam are going to have to binge it. Steve, however, is also one. Him and Misty bond over that. Sharon briefly fights with her Aunt Peggy, putting on the Destroyer's mask, and it's just, saying, yeah, right now, I'm not Sharon, I'm the Destroyer. Black Widow is talking to Nomad, basically trying to get him to decide who he's going to be, make a decision of who he's going to be. Steve deals with the White Wolf while Sam deals with Bucky, and Sharon deals with Peggy. Sam, both Bucky and White Wolf are defeated, but Ian comes out and explains that basically Black Widow managed to talk him into the plan. And so Ian takes the throne of Dimension Z. Orders back the invading hordes. And turns out that a lot of this there were plans within plans. Bucky joining the Outer Circle, even leaving a hint for Steve to kind of say, hey, we're still on the same side. But Ian asks Steve to stay for a while, see how things work out in Dimension Z. And Steve and Sharon ought to do so, while Sam returns to the regular dimension, and that is where the story ends. It's a good crossover, and I'm really glad that it wasn't that the main thrust of the crossover wasn't Sam and Steve disagreeing about how Captain America should operate. I'm very glad that wasn't the case. I'm curious. I know that apparently Sentinel of Liberty is coming to a conclusion soon, with Symbol of Truth continuing on. Clearly, Sentinel of Liberty will be coming to a conclusion, seeing as how Steve is staying in Division Z for the moment. But anyways, moving on to our next book, we've got Captain Marvel number 50, wrapping up Kelly Thompson's run. So, where we left off, while fighting the Brood, Binary was killed. Carol has mourned and got a bit of revenge. But we open with Carol at an AA meeting, hearing people talk about loss, and she flies out of the building, leaving quite the hole. But she goes to New Hala, which she's dubbed Marvel. Tending to Binary's grave. When L'Oreal comes to see her, they have a moment. But L'Oreal has a suggestion. Maybe some punching would help. And so they get involved in it. They defend a planet that's being invaded. Back on Earth, Hazmat and Spider-Woman are planning a party for Carol. Helping to set things up, eventually at least, She-Hulk, Jessica Jones, and Photon. But the party goes off quite well. Rogue's there, Polaris is there, Kate Bishop, America Chavez, various. I think we've got Mary Jane Watson. No, I'm not certain. Rhodey, obviously. Remy. Logan. Miss Marvel shows up. Obviously, this is before her recent death in Amazing Spider-Man. Everyone is kind of thrilled that Jeff is there, as they should be. Jeff is love. Jeff is life. Carol, Kamala, and Monica have a brief bonding moment. Outside, Tony Stark and Carol talk, with Carol saying that they really do need to do better by the younger heroes, just to make sure they don't fall through the cracks like so many have. And Carol and Hazmat talk about things, and then Rhodey basically gets Carol to Jess and pushes her through. Then they go through a magic portal into an alleyway. They run into Dr. Strange, who promptly has them go into a magical bar. The same bar that the Dr. Strange took Carol to and pretty much left her sealed in a room there briefly. But Carol goes in, and Wanda's there. In part because Carol's afraid of turning into Wanda. And Wanda gives her the pep talk she needed. Later, Carol arranges to repair the roof of the church she flew through in the beginning of the issue, which is fairly simple to do when you've got when all your friends have superpowers. You see Iron Man and War Machine, I think Photon and Spider-Woman all helping out to rebuild the church roof. That is where this run ends. I really like this run. I think this is actually the first time I've read a Captain Marvel run from the beginning to its end. Um, I've gotten in on previous Carol Danvers runs, no, largely back when she was Miss Marvel, but it was one of the one I remember getting into most was in the mid 2000s. I think around the time of House of M and Civil War, or after House of M, but actually during Civil War, and I just stayed on and then kind of slipped out. But yeah, this was a good run. I enjoyed it. I wish I seriously want to go back and read some of the Captain Marvel solo stories I've missed over the years. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Doctor Strange, number 4. Where we left off, Wong and Pandora Peters have decided to reform Wand, which is basically S.H.I.E.L.'s magic focused subsidiary. So far, they've recruited one additional agent, Dr. Z, and they're, among other things, they're investigating the assassination of the warlord Agamon. So, a lot of the issue is consists of the agents of Wand dealing with things that have been kind of ignored and just run out of control. A mine shaft in Kentucky, number 666, which is currently run by demons, and brimstone is being mined out of it by spirits that are that have signed contracts. Dr. Z goes over the contracts and basically convinces the workers that collective action is what's needed. Then in Hong Kong, they deal with a group of vampires who've come to the surface. They back off upon learning that Pandora's right-hand man is not just Wong, but the Wong. Turns out there was that Pandora Peters used, and Wand in general was utilizing Boris Bathory, Butcher of Belgorod, Blood Magician Without Equal, using his blood to bind the Jiangxi. However, someone has killed Boris. In Denver, Jasper Jennifer, the Diabolist of Denver, is dead. In the body, a skeleton discovered in Magister Flax's Jungle of Madness. The corpse of Chorfus, Darth Thurgist of the Walrus Men, is also discovered. The throne of Igneo, Archwarlock of the Lava Men, has his corpse. The corpse of Duke Arcos, Hell's Heretic, is found in his summoning circle. And the hive of the Hextorm Queen simply reveals the body of the Hextorm Queen. And so they're trying to think, who could this be? It's bad, because if someone's out killing magical bad guys and monsters, well, then the others are gonna, who knows what they'll do when they think they're next. Furthermore, Pandora Peters has a theory as to who's behind all this. Clea Strange. And that is where the issue ends. Next month we'll be back to Doctor Strange's regular scheduled adventures. including going to the wedding of his mother-in-law. Something he is certainly looking forward to. Though I think his wife is looking forward to it even more. I'm liking. It's early in the run, and yeah, this is largely spinning out of the Strange miniseries from last year. But I like where I'm liking where this run on Doctor Strange is going. I've honestly got a lot of faith in Jed McKay, mainly because of our last book for the moment, Moon Knight number 24. Mainly just Moon Knight, though. So Moon Knight and his allies have been the targets of attacks by a series of strange and deadly villains. And while they've managed to defeat these villains, Moon Knight has been unable to shed any light on who's behind them. We open at the Spectre residence on Long Island. Mark is grilling burgers. Marlene is there. Beatrice is there. They're married. Some of Mark's friends and family arrive. But then Mark realizes the truth that no. With the exception of Marlene and Beatrice, they're all dead. Been trapped in a dream by the villain Morpheus. Does what he makes it to Morpheus, who not so well, I say villain, but he makes it to Morpheus. In fact, even ending up being put through the dreams of potential dreams created by Morpheus for Mark's altars. Jake wins big with the ponies and is able to throw the party. Stephen Grant getting to live a life without Mark Spector, without Moon Knight. Or a dream where Mark has the respect of the Avengers and Cap even asked him to rejoin. But he finds a Morpheus. Turns out somebody came to him. Recruiting to mess with Moon Knight. Morpheus said that he didn't need that kind of grief, but he didn't take no for an answer. Guys put 3 bullets in him, and well, he's hurt bad. Moon Knight's there for Morpheus as he passes, but Morpheus does manage to help Moon Knight in the end by giving him a name: Black Spectre. That is where the issue ends. This has been chugging along quite nicely. I like some of these the dreams. As much as I like the idea of Moon Knight rejoining the Avengers, the scenario they present, yeah, no. Moon Knight's not hey, we were wrong about you. We actually really respect you, and would you maybe consider rejoining? No. Moon Knight rejoining the Avengers would be something more like, well, Moon Knight was there. All right, fine. Moon Knight, you want to be on the team? That's how Moon Knight would rejoin the Avengers. Anyway, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Huge shout out to Patreon patron Xander Lee. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to support the channel, links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.